That's there. We open this, and we cross our fingers because we sorted through a lot of bugs, and everything should be working. Knock on slip solution. We're gonna put 3 ounces in our tank. It's all cleaned out. It's a cold one today, so we might not even necessarily need that much. We're gonna be doing C2 ceramic. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, it's weird how it does that. What's up? Use a Sharpie? Maybe. We're doing a little bit more than I thought we were going to be doing today. Let's try it one more time. Activate. Look, there we go. Everything works now. Audio. Sweet. Things should be synced up. See, like, we got a see. We got a. Hey! That's cool. So, in theory, once I end my stream, and it's another day or two, and I start a new one, reset the computer, everything should just work. It's not going to, but that's the idea. And we try. We try and try. So I spent yesterday and this morning sorting out some bugs, syncing some stuff up, and I think we're pretty good. So we even have camera switching. Maybe. Camera 2. Double audio? No, I didn't know. We were just talking about everything working. What's echoing? Oh, it's that one. Okay, now it shouldn't echo anymore. Okay, let's try this again. Camera 2. Hey! That works. Camera 1. Yeah, one of the follow cameras had audio. I didn't realize it. They all should not now, though. Man. All right, now on the next stream, everything should just work. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's turn this on. You know, I'd like to Sharpie. I'm either gonna plotter cut or double cut this. And the thing about the Sharpie is the way that I plotter cut, or a double cut, excuse me. I don't wanna draw on the film. So that's the main thing that keeps me from just doing it. So I usually just cut right on the car. We gotta do something about that baby seat. We should prep some other stuff because it's cold. Like we can stay on top of the back window so it's all ready. Am I gonna put one on the top one? Sure. For today. Panels come off with no screws. Ooh, that's nice. When you're cutting the top part of the glass, you're putting pressure on it. So I use a plastic knife. Yeah, I use the tint, or I use the blade holder. So when I cut these, I can show you. But I use the blade holder, push it against the top of the glass, and then let the knife do the cutting. This holds it against the top of the glass, so you get a nice clean cut. Camera 2. Oh my God. Have you ever tried baby powder? Yeah, it's way different. I just don't like it. It's more of an old school thing. Baby powder is just not grippy. I wonder why this one's warped. Why did the tape change? Because this sticks better. I have people that still ask me for the older one. It's just completely discontinued for the time being. So. I just like the way this one sticks better. Not unless the adhesive can be upgraded, that's the thing. The adhesive on the old version, like it was the best that I had found. And I wanted the adhesive to be stronger. And so that's what we have on the blue tape for the panel guard. But it's thicker. So I like this one better for seals. I know people like tearing the other one, but man, I saw so many times people would put a piece on, and then after they tried tinting a window like a time or two, it just starts letting go. And that was something I always wanted to fix. So unfortunately, I just can't have both right now. I've been using C2 ceramic 75 and I keep getting glue distortion all through the film. Any ideas? On windshields? Like specifically? Okay, we are doing 5%. Let's see why you've been hanging around. Perfect. Okay, cool. Thought so. We'll wrap up this one and then switch to the other one. You want to know something about C2 ceramic though? You're better off just getting Pro Nano 70. It'll be like roughly the same price. And it'll block more heat than even Apex does. But that's just Pro Nano 70. They said it might be a defective roll. It's always possible. But in the summertime, we were getting small glue distortions too. And the way we squeegee out windshields now has like completely eliminated that. Sharpie, please. I know you want a Sharpie. Maybe on the back doors. If I use a Sharpie right now, I'm drawing on the film side. I don't want to do that. So one thing about double cutting that I'm still unsure of, like if you draw a line on it, if it's just a single piece of film, then you're drawing on the liner. But the way that I lay patterns out for double cutting, I'd have to invert them and they seem to slide more. Does that make sense? Oh, why are we on that one? I forgot. Camera 1. No bubbles. No bubbles. Yeah, why would there be bubbles? Ooh. The mirrors are warm. It's nice. A little hand warmer right now. Slide this over. So I got some overlap here, got some overlap there. We're gonna slide this down. Make sure we're covered. Because if we're not covered on the sides, when we cut our top edge, we're gonna have an unsightly gap. Two layers of 5. Does that look good? Why hand cut instead of plotted? I get more questions about hand cutting. They usually line up more consistently too. Cores are really good. Sometimes. Sometimes we do all the doors. It's not that dark. 2 layers of 5, not that dark? Okay. Sorry, I'll try 2 layers of 2% next time. So when I'm cutting a top edge, I'm gonna poke my knife all the way in, and I use this blade holder. See how it's got a nice squared off spot? And I hold that against throughout. Me and my boss plot everything. We're also really bad at hand cutting. That makes sense. Like, plotters are a handicap and an efficiency tool. You don't want your plotter or like to completely take over all your cutting, because there's going to be times where you absolutely have to hand cut. But if you're using a good software, the vast majority of your patterns are going to line up really well. So it comes down to like I on average get a better finish by hand cutting it, because everything is essentially like tailor cut to that specific window. From a plotter system, they took one of these cars, plotted the window, and then there can be slight variances in all of them. So sometimes that can happen, sometimes the plotted patterns just weren't that great to begin with. So we're gonna trim this. Yep, definitely more practice hand cutting. But you do what makes sense. There we go. Sorry, there's a handful of comment. I only asked because the tape, because it slowed us down. The old version didn't. Interesting. So when I first started using tape, it was tape that never tore. And so the way that I place it is just like you saw on stream. Take a piece, I have my knife on hand, I just trim it. That, for me, was never, like, the tape tearing never sped me up or slowed me down. It was just a nice to have. So if you are applying it, just keep your knife on hand. You can put the little pieces right on the door sill or right on the frame, and then it'll still keep your efficiency up. But I know everybody's a little different. You allow people to be rude, but you only do something when people fight back against the rude people. There's always, so with a group, it's difficult. There's like, some people take deleted comments really personally. The group has over 100,000 people, so it's just like very busy. So we delete stuff and we remove people, but it takes time. So sometimes those comments can sit up there for a little while before we actually do something about it. But we try not to go too hard into the policing because it's a lot of shop dudes. So you just have like shop talk and everybody has a different interpretation for being rude and stuff. So typically if somebody like steps over the line and is just like, yeah, they get kicked. But it's hard to post anything and have a discussion about anything without a severe number of just pessimistic comments. That's just kind of how a lot of the groups function. That's just how the platform is. But we probably need a few more moderators. Any solutions on older vehicles with brittle seals? So with brittle seals, you could try using a gel too. That might help. How do you know when to shrink doors? I just shrink every door. Every door has some curve to it. There's people that are gonna say it's pointless to shrink certain door windows, and I don't disagree, but I typically just shrink everything. It doesn't take long for me. I leave seals in, so that has something to do with it too. Like this one's good. Those are ready to install. That didn't take me a year. I'll be a mod. Maybe. Scared to make that pose. Because I know a ton of people are going to be like, I'll be a mod. Only when I'm bottom loading, I don't shrink doors. Makes sense. We have 2 locations when them switch to different brand tape due to the adhesive. Which adhesive? Which tape? Why don't you squeegee out the tint when shrinking on the side windows? Oh, because it's dry. I mean, it's damp. You don't need to. When you're snap shrinking, you kind of squeegee a lot of water out beforehand. And so there's a little bit of moisture in between the film and the glass. But when you're snapping, you don't have to do anything else. Squeegee this off. Swipe down the sides. Flush. Coat. Now we're going to peel and install. Peel that down. Pick it up. We're going to start with the top corner here. Forget how much I like that. I switched everything over to Blue Max squeegees for a minute. By a minute, I mean like a couple months. Really like them. But when you want a softer touch, get some of the moisture out, Pink Clean is still a little bit nicer for that. How much does tint normally cost? That's a hard question to answer because it just varies so much. It's like, how much does a car cost? Like, which one? From who? Typically in between $250 and $1,000. Sweep that off. 300 to 15, yeah, pretty much. Do you have any tips for a rapper if he wants to start his own shop? I got lots of tips. Ask away. I have no magic bullets, though. Magic bullets would be nice. It's always scary around this time. Yeah, we got a snowstorm, phones are cold. How do you start? Happenstance. My dad owned an auto accessories company, so I got my start there. How much money should I have to start? It's not that simple. You can do things for fairly cheap. With the new version of tape, they switched over to blue painter's tape because they were, ew, blue painter's tape. It's not even that good at sticking. Yeah, we can't make this stuff tear. That's the problem. This stuff is stretchy. There's just manufacturing limitations with like any path that you go down. What I meant was, how much money do I need to start a tint/wrap business? Yeah, I know. And the answer is it varies. Like, I know some people's rent that are $1,000 a month. Mine's $3,400 a month. That's just rent. That's not utilities and internet and everything else. And some areas, dude, you're like $5,000 to $10,000 in rent. So it's just like, you're gonna have, you can start with a smaller inventory. You can start with a big inventory. So a couple grand, I would say, is a small inventory. 5 to 10 grand is gonna be a big inventory. There's just like, ask more specific things. That'll help. Because like, unfortunately, the service business, like a skill service business, isn't as simple as I learn the skill, I make the money. There's so many things that play into each one. Average amount of hours. So for me, this one will take a couple hours for the sides and the rear, and then I'll add an hour for the front windshield. All right, so we're gonna trim this. Should we single cut? Is the guy still here? Do we have a Sharpie? I do have a Sharpie on hand. That means I gotta take this one over to the other side. Can I just flip this? That way I get my nice flat edge. You survived. Okay, so if I'm doing a Sharpie and I get a nice flat edge here, I'm going to start with pulling this down to where I'm going to tuck the film, and then we're going to lock it in place. Let's trim off our excess here. We only need to make one cut on the window, and that's going to be the top edge. So I can take my Sharpie, find where that edge is, and I can draw a line there. Go to this side, this is my side edge, and we're gonna draw a line here as well. Those are the only two lines I need. And we're gonna open our door. We're gonna roll this down. Now we grab our top edge knife, and because this one has an extra angle here that drops out of the seal, this is gonna be a cut, and this is gonna be a cut. So we're gonna cut that edge. Can tear that away. And we start down here somewhere and cut that direction. So there we go. I have all the information that I need to finish up this pattern without risking a blade against the seals. But you'll notice we didn't slide our pattern over. We just have a line. But if I know this is where my side seal is, then we're gonna cut simply outside that line, and we can make our border as wide as we want. So if we did this, that'd be really far. If we did this, that'd be too slim. So like somewhere in the middle, right? And you can just cut the whole length. You don't have to use a ruler. You can eyeball it, just go straight down. So there's one side edge. Hop over to this side. And remember, this edge was just small, but we're still gonna cut the full length. Right like that. And now this pattern looks like I hand trimmed the sides on the car. So all we have to do is round our corners. Round our corners and connect some dots. This can be straightened out. Round that. So you straighten that out, round this. And then we're gonna round this last little guy right here. It's gonna follow that curve. So we can check this pattern, bring it back over to the window, line it up. That all looks really nice. See? See, this is where my Sharpie line is. And it overlaps the side pretty nicely. Just like that. And if I roll it up, that bottom edge is gonna be exactly where I needed it to go. That's where I started it. So this is all ready to shrink and install. But now I gotta cut the other one. Ugh. Why do you choose to hand cut over using a plotter? I get this question basically anytime I hand cut any of the windows. It's like it's tailor fit to to each window. A plotter is a generic cutting system, and on average, a good software is going to do really well, and it will speed you up. I just don't like the guessing. So there's still plenty of times I'm going to jump over to the plotter, cut something out. I typically do it on the back window and the quarters, and there's just days I'll do it on the doors. But sometimes I go to cut something on a plotter, and then I have to hand cut it anyways, and that really annoys me. So if I know my hand cutting is just always going to line up, if I'm not like under pressure into a rush, then I'm just going to hand cut it anyways. Plus, it depends on how many cars we're actually doing. So plotters are more of a production tool. So if you want to get a lot of cars done very quickly to get a good enough on average result, that's why a lot of people love them. How much does 15% cost for most cars? So if we're not including a windshield, we start 15% in our ceramic. It'd be $350. I have good experience in glass. I'm guessing that means tinting. Can I work with you? We're not hiring right now. Appreciate it though. What do I do if my tint has bubbles in it and I just got it done? Talk to the shop. Within like the first couple days, there is where you are. It's very cold here. We'll tell our customers to give it up to a week, but the first couple days, you're gonna see little water pockets. That's very normal. Some people confuse water pockets with bubbles, and shops don't really take the time to explain much at all. If there's lots of white little specks, that's dirt, and that's not gonna go away. But the water pockets will dry. What's the name of the tape? Seal guard on the sides and panel guard on the door. Yeah, I thought so. This window feels like it has child on it. Why is the film so short? We're trying some different styling. Taillight tint, not very easy. Really depends on the film and the light. Ones that are flatter, pretty straightforward. Ones that have compound curves to them, which a lot of them do, and more intricate stuff, you have to like 2 or 3 piece some of them. So you get the top right edge where it angles. So if you rewind a little bit, you can see it. What I did, oh, we got another window too. This is part of our top edge. So this is the side and this is the side. And then we cut these together. How to prevent car batteries from dying? I get a charger and keep them topped up while you're tinting. You're gonna see it a lot in the wintertime. Older cars, they can die pretty quick. You can get a battery maintainer or just get a jump box and keep it on low. Do you get tired of the same questions daily? No. There's always a lot of people coming in and out. I think what annoys me the most is when I allegedly stop doing something entirely because I'm literally doing something else. If I hand cut, why did you stop using the plotter? If I plotter cut, why did you stop hand cutting? Like, people are so, this is the way. There's only one way you could possibly do something. And then right behind that is like closed-minded people that like actually get frustrated because somebody's doing something differently than them. It's like, no, I'm not trying to challenge everything that you believe in. It's just there can be differences between people, and that's okay. I don't care how you install. I don't care what film you use. Just do a good job with what you like for your customers. That's all that matters. I'm not paying for it, they are. But there's so many people that try and make it a process competition, and I just don't understand it. Speed, process, it's like you just can't, no matter what, you're always getting argued at. It's like, can you just go away, please? Thank you. Yeah, and because somebody can't do something a certain way or had a certain result, it's like they can't accept somebody else can have a good result that way. But genuinely, like I just like literally banned somebody today because he just couldn't get along with people that two-staged. He had to challenge it, and he's like, dude, I two-staged for a long time, and I learned bottom loading, and it was life-changing. It's like, that's cool. I'm happy for you. That's great. So you like that. Some people still like two-staging, and that's fine. But they just couldn't accept it. Is XPEL installation gel similar to what you use? From what I hear, I haven't ever got it, but I'm assuming it sits somewhere in between probably Important Sauce and Instagel. Like, I don't know thickness, but people seem to like XPEL gel or 3M or whatever. If you're using a gel on the side edges, just make sure it's safe for window film, because people are recommending using like aloe and other stuff. I wouldn't think there'd be any issues with XPEL. How does the camera follow you? It's a security camera. It's built for tracking. It's actually awesome because it's my security system, so once I stop the stream. Camera 3. Camera 3. It is good that there's a lot of people with this passion, more so than I ever thought there would be. from early on, I liked discussion groups and sharing information and that kind of stuff. And there was a lot of them that just like, you had dudes that had such a big head about it. I never understood that. But I think it goes, like if somebody sees you doing something differently, I feel like deep down, for some people, it like legitimately challenges everything that they believe in. They're like, no, I have studied, and this is the definitive best way. And anybody that does it differently than this isn't doing it the best way. And I need to make sure that they do it the best way. Like, I don't know. Or it pops up in their feed and they're just like offended. Like, how dare this pop up in my feed? So what do we do? Do we plotter cut this one? Do we hand cut this one? I got quarter windows, but then I gotta pull it up on the machine and la 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 la. Oh, it's 5. We'll throw it on the machine. Hand cut. All right, let's put it on the machine. Hand cut. Come on, guys. I'm gonna hand cut the windshield. Like the PC community. Toxic. Yeah, literally every community has an absurd level of toxicity. Every single one of them. I've joined a lot of random types of groups, whether it be like, I don't know, just anything and everything. And you just see like the same type of cynicism everywhere. It's so annoying. Plotter it. Usually don't plot out well. I haven't had any issues with the backs plotting. Plotter the windshield. Oh, plotter the windshields. No. Not gonna plotter the windshields. What films are good to learn to shrink with? An inexpensive dyed film, keyword being dyed, and like Geo's C2 Carbon is a really good film to learn with. It's generally what we use for the classes. C2 Ceramic 35, I gotta remember that that's there. I should have just spat this out on the plotter and then trimmed it. Then I would have had a straight line. Oops. Oopsie doopsie. See, look at that straight cut. Not. That one? Yes, that one. Right there. Clamp that down. Okay. Close vehicles. Let's get rid of that one. We need a H. Honda 2025 Honda Accord. This looks like it. And then we're gonna do the back window, option 1. We're gonna click the quarters. We're gonna change this to a 36-inch roll. This program is $200 a month. Look at that, I can fit my quarter windows in there nice and neat. that little space right there. I like it. And then we're going to make sure our settings are right. Yes, yes, and cut. Excuse me, stool. Actually, all this stuff can move out of the way. How would it be able to tell if they use ceramic? Without a meter, it's a little difficult. You should feel a difference, but in the wintertime, most of the time you're not going to feel a difference because it's winter. But there just isn't a clean visual indicator, unfortunately. I wish there was. You just kind of have to trust that they didn't bait and switch you. What's the difference in feel? It's not that simple. Like a meter could tell you. Like you take a bulb and a meter, or a swatch and put a meter on it, and you'll be able to tell. Ceramic is much cooler during the summertime. I mean, if you went to a place, my other thought too is if you went to a place and you're second guessing the place, you probably should have picked another place. Right? I forgot I want to do this. I should have done this before I even click cut. But we can do the quarters. So we're gonna take a dryer sheet, mist the back window, slather this goodness all over it. Ta-da! Detroit Tint Studio in Sterling Heights. For static, no. For shrinking, yes. It's got like a wax. So soap bars. People have used a lot of different things. Soap bars, baby powder. Baby powder's not really a wax though. Dry shrink prep. You slather it on, it leaves a nice waxy residue, and the tint grabs that. But it also floats. It all floats down here. You'll see once we get into shrinking, it just helps with shrinking. Okay, so I had those. So if I shrink these at all, I gotta shrink them out this direction or this direction. I saw a post, ceramic film said if it has a blue film, can't talk. No, that's not correct. A blue haze does not tell you if it's ceramic. It could be an indication that it is ceramic, but like a haze is just, this goes in the other way. Good ceramic films shouldn't have any haze anymore. That's what's nice about them, is they're so much clearer. And then ceramic films, like, dude, I can show you 2 different films from Geo that have dramatically different colors to them. And both of them are ceramic. What do you think about Olfa knives? I don't like them. I genuinely don't. The end, it's a couple things. They do have some knives with the clicks, but the ends here, they're too wide, like too much of a gap here. The edges are funky. The red dot just is better. You can get some different grips, even by NT. So you can get ones with a little like meatier handle to it that'll still have like the same amount of clicks and stuff, but I just wasn't a fan of any of the Olfa ones. I like their blades better too, like NT blades a little bit better. So we just carry NT stuff. C2 ceramic is top tier. Yeah, that's what we're installing right now. I wouldn't describe this as having a blue haze. The meta glasses, I wish they were that cool. Maybe someday. I feel like what they're gonna do is get them working for streaming, and the quality is gonna be like okay, and they're gonna be stuttery. So it might be another year or two before those really work. What glasses are those? I can show you. You're probably gonna be disappointed though. Spoiler, they're just glasses. They don't do anything. They're really good for, meta glasses are really good for just content in general though. You wanna film a video, they're really good for that. Streaming? No, they don't stream. We gotta do this too. Camera 2. No, I'm not recording on, I have a phone. Razor blades. I should leave a pack of razor blades right there. I'm pretty sure I was. Oh, I put it over there. Damn. Damn it. Torch? No, not really. Torches are very cool. I do like them. I just don't use them very much. Not as good with a torch, honestly. But torches are just, if you want to go that much faster, you can absolutely use a torch. It's just more heat. It's more heat at your disposal. Where did I set my red dot down at? Yeah, no kidding. Sit in a car and it falls out of your tool belt. I used to pull cars in and out for another shop. And I can't tell you how many times I'd have to run back out to the car because it would slide in between that seat and the center console. What's a water sprayer called? Tint keg. Thanks for the videos. You helped our whole shop learn how to tint. Wow. Good for you guys. That's cool. Thanks for watching. All right, so this is already cut and shrunk. We're gonna turn on the car first. Where's the button? There's the button. Oh no. Okay. We're gonna unlock it. Oh, did you kill it? Somebody in chat said something and then I think they killed it. So we'll put a box on it. Where's the box? There's the box. Now I gotta give up one of my heat guns. Oh. Well, that's probably been jump-started a couple times then. Makes sense. Whenever you see that up. How difficult is the rear glass? Not difficult. It's just deep. So you gotta bring in a deep reach squeegee. Come here. Mobile tint job Friday. Wish us luck. Oh, good luck on that. Are you tinting outside? In this weather? Let's go. There we go. Do you do decals? No. I don't do a lot of things. Hey, there we go. I tried using the seal guard and it removed the tint. How'd you do that? So the seal guard wraps on the inside, but it basically it covers this portion and just the inside of the seal. I have no idea how you would have pulled the tint off. So you might have it wrapped around or stuffed in there too far? I'm not sure. That's a new one. I keep getting fingers shrinking. Dang hoods. Do you think the film can cause that? That's an installer issue. You just gotta learn to adapt to that film. Shrinking is I tried taking it off and the tint came off while I was shrinking. What? I don't know. I gotta see a replay of what happened and I can tell you exactly what happened, but I'm honestly not sure. If you install it right, it can't pull the tint off. Okay, so we're gonna install this door window now. I think I messed up shrinking wet. I keep getting fingers. Shrinking won't work. Do you think the film can cause that? So that back door still has to be cut and shrunk, so stay tuned for that. But there's an awful lot of people that will wet a window. They will point a heat gun at the film and then just push the film down. They're not actually shrinking the film. You need to see the zigzags to make sure that you're actually shrinking the film. Or you need to do a pull shrink. Or a snap shrink. Snap shrink, that's what I'm trying to say. But it's not magic. You do the same procedure that you see me do. You can absolutely do it too. You just got to pay attention closely to the steps and what's actually happening. Like if I'm pointing a heat gun at the film and I'm not seeing it shrink and I just push it down, well then you didn't do anything. You just warmed it up a little bit. You have to watch for some like visual cues that show you that the film is actually shrinking. Does that make sense? What order do you go when doing a full car? We're all over the place today. I started doing stuff on the back, and then I'm like, oh, I got stuff on the driver's side that still needs to be done. I generally get all the doors done, and then I do a back window, and then I do a windshield. I save the best for last. Torch at the end of the install, it's not necessary. It gets the window a little hotter. It'll dry out the film a little quicker. I think the trade-off, I don't know, this could just be me. Whenever you're taking a torch to glass, you'll actually see the torch flame pattern when it rains. So like if you're not insanely even about it, it would just look weird with like a mist hitting the windows. Because like we use a torch to help get rid of hydrophobic coatings, make the tint slide easier. So when you're doing that on the outside of the window, you're just gonna see that. It's just not necessary. I think what would be better is to take an IR lamp for like curing coatings and then place it a reasonable distance from the window. And then you could cook the whole window evenly and dry the windows out super fast. Am I able to recover if I crease where it folds up when two staging? Yeah, of course. It depends on how bad you fold it. So you'll see me all the time go and do a little bit of touch-up on the sides. There'll be a small fold where you bend the film to two-stage it. Some of that has to do with the tightness of the seals. So like when I have this much space, I'm not gonna generally see a fold there. But on, I'd say, your average car, there's gonna be a little fold there. You take a heat gun, you warm up the glass till it gets nice and toasty, and then you crush all the air out of it. That all happens like inside the seal. You don't see it, and it's invisible. Okay, so I have to hand cut one more window because I used a Sharpie. But yeah, super normal. Is it faster or better to hand cut versus using a plotter when you have 2 to 4 cars in a day? Oh, plotter is definitely going to help you. So look at it this way. Let's say it takes me 10 to 20 minutes to cut every window. Let's say it still takes me 10 to 20 minutes to plotter cut, weed, and lay out all my patterns. You're usually just gonna win by plotter cutting a back window versus hand cutting it, just faster. But let's say both times were created 100% equal, but then I hire a second set of hands and I put them in charge of a few things: pulling cars in and out, wiping windows down, and cutting things on a plotter and putting it on there. You're automatically saving that time, plus however much time it takes you to clean up, plus however much time it takes you to do all those little things that you can just have somebody else take care of for you. Plotter's the way to go for production. There's no way around it. It's just easier to teach somebody to use that system and do some basic stuff and save you a whole buttload of time and get a bunch more cars done. But there's instances where hand cutting is just going to be equally as efficient with the right person. So like double cutting, you're just generally going to save some time. I don't have to load the plotter. I don't have to find the car. If my cuts don't turn out right on the plotter, then I'm hand cutting it anyways. But generally speaking, back windows, quarter windows, you're going to save time on. Trucks, you're going to save time on. Anything that's just more fussy to cut out, that takes extra time to like line a light up. It's like you can save time just by doing a plotter. But hear me out. I don't tint all the time in the absolute most efficient way possible. I cover door panels. I try and get a more exact cut by hand cutting. I live stream. So like, there's definitely shortcuts that I can take, ways that I can speed it up. But I'm not trying to get cars out as fast as I possibly can. I just want to have fun. All right, so this one's all set. We gotta teach some people how to shrink it now. That's gonna be next. Doing the live streaming makes up for going a little slower? Yeah, absolutely. At this point, it does. For a long time, it didn't. So, let me back up here. This is a good example. So if I'm going to shrink individual fingers, I'm going to coat the window. I'm going to put my pattern on here. I'm going to leave it about an inch up from the bottom, give myself a little space. And I put it nice and flat along this edge, just because you can see like there's a finger kicking up here, right? Anywhere it's overlapping, you can see a little finger there. Like there's curve to this window. So I want to take as much of that curve and force it to the bottom. So step one is start here at the top and curve and drag that slack down to the bottom. And then what I can do is I can even push this in a little bit more and kick some fingers up. So if I do this and I don't really see fingers, I can ensure that I get some, and then I drag this down. So now I gotta go grab my heat gun that is plugged into a box. I think you might have one of the craziest streamer setups for like a non-streamer person. Oh yeah, for sure. The headache I've always had was wireless cameras and then audio syncing. That's been like a huge cluster. If I could just sit in front of a desk, I'd have a pretty cool setup too. But then I had to make it wireless. Okay, so I got some fingers here. I'm going to kick some of this water out. I got a shrinking card. And then if I just hit this with some heat, well, I don't see zigzags. I didn't shrink it at all. I just hit it with some heat. So what I need to do is actually make sure that I'm shrinking it. See how it's now wider and flatter? And this is a game of whack-a-mole. You put this close, you see zigzags, you push it down. Get it close, see zigzags, push it down. And you just do this until they all go away. But you gotta get the heat gun within an inch or two, and you just gotta keep it moving. But if I stand back here and I warm it up and do that, well, it kind of went away, right? I'm getting it to pop up somewhere, but I could put enough pressure to effectively lightly shrink it, get most of these to go away, and I haven't really done that much. I'm just basically getting the tint to stick to the glass. You always want to make sure that you're shrinking them and then pushing them down. But I'm gonna add one more step to this method. For whatever reason, even though it looks shrunk, there's still a fair amount of slack that's overlapped all the edges. Sometimes you just don't get a full picture. So you can lift the film about like 6 inches up and then just anchor it back down to the sides. And then we're just gonna take a heat gun and hit the bottom area. And that, all these little floaty wrinkles, we get those to tighten up. So when we go to install this, we shouldn't have fingers popping up. So what I do for snap shrinking is I lift this and I just do that without all the other steps. But for a more visual on like how much do I have to shrink, how do I know what's enough, I suggest starting with that and then introducing snapping. Because you're just trying to do the same thing with snapping. With snapping, what do you see visually? You see the film bowing a little bit. It's harder to see what's actually going on until you're used to looking at it. But it's a little bit more feel than it is just visual, which makes it difficult for a lot of people. So you just have to get used to, hey, if I hold the heat gun within 3 to 4 inches and the film is lifted off the window, it's probably shrinking. So you just kind of do that towards the bottom some, let it go, see how it curves to the window. You can pick it up and shrink it more. But it's a little bit more of a trial and error. I didn't learn snap shrinking until I had been tinting for, I don't know, a handful of years. Like I posted my first video, I think 3 years into window tinting. I was still shrinking individual fingers. I just didn't know about it. Somebody came to apply, and he had been tinting for another shop for like a year. And then he taught us how to snap shrink. It was pretty magical. We were just tinting, and we were like, okay, we need you to shrink the doors. And he took it over to a glass board and went, and I was like, what the fuck did you just do? He's like, I shrunk them, I think. You did? Show me again. It was like, that works? Really? It was fun. Our gel post controversial in the group. Dude, everything's controversial in the group. I tinted a window. Oh, you did it in the wrong shade. You should have gone with this one. Hey guys, here's an install video. Well, you fucked that up, didn't you? Like, it's just, you can't post anything without a handful of people telling you what you absolutely fucked up. That's what's hard about moderating. You don't use gel anymore? I do use, oh my God. I know, you're probably clowning. I don't feel, okay, now since it's colder, these windows slide a lot. So adding gel just makes everything slide even more. And on clean seals with tape, I don't feel a need to use gel on doors so much. If I didn't tape, I would. And especially if they were felt. But see, that's my trade-off there. Is like I'm so used to taping stuff. But I use it on every windshield now. I still don't even use it on like every back window. I'm mainly using it on windshields, rip seal guard, pretty much. It's a good alternative. Some people are gonna like tape, some people are gonna like gel. I don't think gel is quite the same thing as taping, but you can get extremely good results with both. They're just a little different from each other. See, we roll that up, flush underneath. Tuck one corner in, hop over here. This is the best way to get windshield protection from rocks. See, once we stuff those corners in, we pick our slack up, and then anywhere that does this on the seal, that's what's keeping it from dropping in the seal. You pull this back and watch. Free that up, and look, now it just like gently goes into the seal. It's nice. There's a lot of windshield protection films now. I tend to agree with Mike on this. I don't think there's a single one that really lasts well past a year. They're expensive. And so they're not gonna be worth it for most people. But that scale is slowly tipping. Windshield replacements have gone way up. Your average windshield is more expensive, but the cost of getting a subpar film that costs as much of a windshield is like, so on certain vehicles, like if a vehicle costs like $2,000 to get a windshield replaced and insurance doesn't cover it, then it's probably worth getting a windshield protection film. Your higher end supercars make sense to have, especially because they're not going to get driven as much. That's the like ideal customer. But like your everyday daily driver Honda Accord, it's probably not going to quite make sense because the film's going to start showing wear. And I don't think any warranties really go past like 18 months. What's the best place to get rolls as a beginner? I mean, I'm not trying to plug anything here, but I'd look there. I gotta have a thing. You know what? Now that I got voice commands back, I gotta bring in some infographics or something. Because we can go nuts now. I remember those days. Okay, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, shut off the car. Do you have to paint correct the whole car if it's brand new? I mean, you never have to. But the whole point of paint correcting is so your paint looks better than new. There's so many swirls and stuff from a car dealership. You'd want to paint correct if you notice that kind of stuff. But that's really an owner's thing. Your average person is never going to notice your car as much as you. So you do what you like. I don't think I've taken mine through the wash in like a year. All right, I need a heat gun. I mean, I guess I could use this. This is convenient. Cord needs to be longer though. Baby shampoo ratio, 1 ounce per gallon. I'd start with that and then see how it works for you. If you feel like you need more, add more. When I was using a baby shampoo and a keg, I had 4 ounces of soap total. Baby shampoo I didn't feel was slick enough for the film I was using. Which is why I like Tint Slip. Tint Slip, I need 3 ounces of it on average. If it's hotter out and the windows are a tad bit sticky, I'll probably add a little bit more. Japanese cars seem to slide a little bit better for whatever reason. So like on a Accord, 3 ounces is plenty. In the winter when it's a little bit colder, it'll slide for longer. So I could do probably 2.5. Which one am I on? Oh, I'm on that one. Oh, that's not that bad. What's the other one look like? Camera 3. That's a little far. You should zoom in. See, like, that's cool. But, like, it's harder to see. I put smart zoom on, but it's not very smart. We need more cameras. That's what we need. How to price jobs as a beginner? Look at local competition. See where other pricing is at. That way you get kind of a nice market range. So like get a small list of vehicles and then get quotes for them. How much would it be to do the front doors? How much would it be to do everything else? How to keep business coming during the winter. It's to never slack off your marketing during the summer. There's always going to be slow periods. Slower, anyways. But the really good shops they'll have a mix of things. They'll have advertising, they'll have sales, and they'll have nurture campaigns. And a nurture campaign is, you know, all those emails that you get throughout the year. Those work. It's just blasting every single customer that's ever come in and giving them little reminders that you exist. Little sales, referrals, blah, 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 blah. You keep that kind of stuff going. And you can give them reasons to come back in for like checkups and stuff if you want. Running ads is really like the simplest way, but retargeting your existing customers is a big one. So much heat. Yes? I mean, enough. All right. So that is shrunk, ready to install. Quarter windows are shrunk, ready to install. Let's peel off the border. If you would have heated the rainbow tension marks would have overheated. Oh yeah, that's your indicator that it's shrunk. You're looking for that pattern. So when you're shrinking, the real visual indicator that you've shrunk enough is seeing those little tension pockets starting to form. They don't need to be super visual. They just need to kind of exist. And anywhere that looks kind of like muddy and not very defined really could be shrunk a little bit more. So let me give you a good visual. Let's lift this off the window. Let's do this. I don't really see them as much right now. It's always harder to like try and replicate exactly where we were. But you see this? You see how that's pulling back? That's tension. So we start with, here, I'll just pick up this whole side. We start with it pulled flat in the middle. That kind of separates this. But you can see these angled ones. After I'm kind of shrunk some, when they start doing this or start doing this, they're shrunk enough. And all you're doing is getting the film to stick to the dryer sheet and just kind of scooching it forward. If I were to take my hand and just pull this tight, see how that lays nice and flat? That's all you're trying to do. Shrink it enough so it'll just lay nice and flat on the window. Nice. Now I gotta try and fan this back out. How many days a week are you in the shop? 4 or 5 typically. We're open Monday through Friday. And so if there's not a car scheduled, sometimes I just don't come in because I can do stuff from home. Or we'll use that as an excuse to go do something else. Right now, we're taking our days when we can. So in the summertime, there's generally a lot more appointments, and it's just we'll have less days that are available to do other stuff. But in the winter time, we'll have a little extra time. So it just depends on the week. But yeah, everything goes by appointments. So if I don't have appointments on a certain day, then we're not just going to have a surprise person walk in. Any advice on becoming a... Oh, really? Just that? Oh, okay. Any advice on becoming a tinting content creator? Just do it. Get meta glasses, get a camera, set up a phone and start live streaming. Like, you just do it. I'll tell you, going overboard on your setup is just, it's just for the fun of it, that's all. There isn't any real reason to. You just do it because you like it. So it doesn't matter where you're tinting. People just like hanging out and talking to somebody that's working. Is Tint X bad quality? Yeah, they're generally not super great. They changed their name too. They don't exist anymore. So they're like UV Run or something. Men like to gather and watch other men work. It's so true. The ones that just get me is, again, watching other people work and then just criticizing everything that they're doing. It's like, why? Why do you got time to do that? It's doofy. Go do something else. All right. Let's do quarter windows. Oh. Let me go to the other side, because I'm pretty sure my sprayer's over there. Yes, it is. So we'll do that one. Yeah, I like the Quarter Pro better. Quarter window. C2 ceramic, way easier to shrink than Cool Max. C2 is a substantially better film from Cool Max. Cool Max was just hazy. I had an employee he wasn't a tinter. He would help with the orders. But he got interested and into window tinting. And he would practice. He ordered a roll of Cool Max. And he's just like, I came in one day and there's a roll of it. And I'm just like, you could have used any. And he's like, I just felt bad. You know, I couldn't pass it up. Maybe it's terrible. Well, we got his car tinted with it. Holy sh! It was so hazy. It was very brown and very hazy. You know what's funny? They have a line that I don't hear very many people talk about up from there called Megamax. I haven't seen Megamax in person, but I saw just a couple posts with it. Looks much better, but it's also like the same type of pricing. Same type of pricing as ooh, where did we put it? Shit. Oh no, it's right here. Same type of pricing as like Pro Nano was. What tint percentage is legal? I don't know where you live. Here, anything with a doctor's note. This looks like it was replaced at one point. Look at all this schmoo down here. Oh yeah, it was. It's got a Pilkington sticker on it. Oh wait, no. That might be Honda. Oh no, it is different. Honda Pilkington. Oh no, it could be factory. The quarter windows have identical stabs. Still looks aftermarket though. The install. There's too much schmoo here for this to be factory. Schmoo's the professional term. Tint Depot, good or bad? Tint Depot has good films, bad branding. That's why so many people like high tech. I mean, the only thing different about Tint Depot versus high tech is the name. It's their professional brand. It's because Global fell asleep. Notice how way more people talk about high tech than Global. But Global's been around way longer. I keep going back and forth on this right now. I'm getting interested again in window film testing, but sourcing everybody's films would get quite expensive unless I can do it from the community and people want to send worthwhile enough samples to do it. But we could compare colors and just like, I'd get a pretty good solar meter for it. But the real question is how long is every film gonna last, and that is really hard to measure. What tint do you use? I use GeoShield. All right, quarter windows are done. Back window is ready. Mine is cleaning on the inside. So I'm going to set this one here. I'm gonna juice it up at the same time. So we're gonna have a couple outside angles, because I just don't have space with this neck mount. This one's gonna be kind of a big reach. So you could do something like this. Wait, is this USB-C? Oh, thank God it is. Cool, we'll get some more battery. But we'll give you guys a good view of 5%, which really isn't a very good view. But we'll start with something like that. And I will grab some stuff. Bulldozer, tail fin. Is Global good? Yeah, Global's really good. Global is Guari. It's their house brand. Global was one of the most popular film brands for a while. And Expel rebranded it Expel. That's how, like, Expel has only been a window film company, I want to say, like, since 2016, 2015, somewhere in there. They haven't been a window film company for all that long. They've been a company and a paint protection film company, software and paint protection film, for much longer. But they're expert branders and marketers. So they started doing window film software for patterns. They were using global film, and they started switching long existing global accounts over to Expel. Then they started cracking down. So they were pretty price competitive, very good software, very appealing. And then they started squishing out their dealers. Did you take a class or just learn on your own? I was taught. I trained at a company. But I don't think I'd be tinting any other way. It was by happenstance. I wasn't like, this wasn't some grand master plan to start making videos. And I was really just a big tech nerd. I wasn't sure what field to get into. So then I just started tinting windows eventually. So much spent on advertising? Yeah, and it absolutely worked. I mean, there's a reason why so many major large companies dump millions and billions into advertising. But one thing I give them so much credit and respect for is, you'll notice this, is like in every industry, there's some type of Apple-esque company. And I would describe them as the Apple of the window film world. Now, they haven't gone as far as doing that with like every product. They're more of like expert branders. But they're not like an in-house manufacturer. I guess that's kind of like Apple. They all use like what, TSMC? Ooh, I gotta get one more tool. Expel has good films. They throw a ton of money at marketing, and they're very good at creating an image. But with that, they've done some really smart and awesome things. I mean, they got into the Tesla app, which is no small feat. So many people will just ask, you know, if there are 2 to 3 window film brands that anybody will pretty much ask about, Expel is on that list every time now. Not Geo, not Solar Guard, not Suntech. It's like Lumar, Expel, and 3M. Most of the time it's Lumar and 3M. Or Lumar and Expel. It's like almost always Expel. All right, let's check it out. Hopefully I did okay. Whoa, this is terrible. What the fuck? Nope, still got a little bit more over there. What do I need? Where's my Libman? People misplace knives. I misplace Libmans so fast. So I got this whole edge to push out over there. I got just a little bit over here. So if we could cut the bottom strip off, this would be done. But we can't do, I got it all wet. What was the point of that? Let's make sure this gets nice and squeegeed out. Is that a super chat? It is a super chat. Extreme window tint, an OG to an OG, a cup of coffee. Great tinting. Thank you. Okay, so that looks good. We just got this little bit down there. Just that area. Bulldozer. Is like my best choice for it. Still not exactly easy. I took a couple swipes with the tail fin. There we go. That's what I want to see. Except for you. One little booble that needs to go all the way across. Did we do it? It could be slightly better. Right there. That little guy. Oh, don't worry about that little guy. Gone. Gone, gone, gone. Little bit of water here. If I'm picky, I could get that out. Is that a little bit like a Camaro? Okay, cool. That's all flat. One more swipe or two down in the stamp area and we'll be good. Yes! That's good. You see all that? All the way down. Fun. So, shrinking those back windows, very straightforward. getting all the little bubbles out at the bottom edge. So much of it is covered by the deck lid. A lot of pressure with the bulldozer. Oh my God, I broke my first bulldozer. I just need it. Like with my knee. I'll show you. Heard a little. Whoops. Look. Look what I did. Oopsies. Well, that's not good. So that one's gone. Yeah, like a VW. You just don't have much space. It's not, thankfully it's not quite as curved. But you're going over the seats because the headrests are stitched in, and then all that is covered by the brake light. So like the bottom, this much is like all deck lid. But they give you space, the orange bulldozers. I still like the blade of the white ones. Fusion's got a pink one now too that I gotta order. I think they looked at feedback from the orange ones and they're like, let's make a softer version. So now they have an orange version and a pink version. Fusion's kind of going ham with products right now. They trademarked the water wick. I think to spite somebody, but good for them. They just introduced a whole bunch of stuff. Do you build / mod cars or detail? I tint them. Camera 1. Have to try them. Or the orange. Yeah, I just wasn't a big fan of it. I think my perfect back window squeegee always has a squeegee blade on it. So like I'm a big fan of the bulldozer, and I like squeegees that can kind of mold really nicely to that bottom curve. It's not necessarily like putting a ton of pressure. It's just I have to put a lot of pressure on something like the bulldozer because the paddle can be stiff. So I need like a squishy thing that just molds really evenly to the back window. That's why the Slim Slam is so nice, but a Slim Slam wouldn't fit back there. All right, so we got a windshield to do on this one too. So we're gonna get this one all cleaned up. Grinch pictures, Thursday, 12/11. Ooh. I gotta tell my wife. Scrub a dub. How much for this one? Everything with the windshield and C2 ceramic, $5.50. Okay, now we're going to stripe it. We gotta clean off the inside. There's a few stickers on it. And whatever that is. Lots of residue. So we'll clean that off. But very straightforward windshield on this one. I like it. Nice big housing. Lots of space. Have you ever used Dawn as your dry prep? No, I haven't. It works really well? I've used it for installations for a little while. It works amazing. You have to rub about a quarter of Dawn on your hand and then just apply it to the windshield and just wait for it to dry. Makes sense. Sounds just like a soap bar and dryer sheets. I mean, it's just a liquid soap, so yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't work. That's cool. Now I'm gonna have to try a bunch of liquid soaps. I think I tried Tint Slip once. I'm trying to remember now. But I've tried a handful of soap bars. I just don't find that they had quite as much stick. So I would like to, yeah, I'd give it a try. Trying a new camera angle? Yeah, a couple of them. I like the POV, but I've always liked the idea of having cameras that I can just kind of forget about. So we're leaving these ones up for now. And then it gives me the ability to not think about a camera and stream, just like without a car if I want. Is it snowing? It is. Oh, shit. That's nasty. Aye. Hang on, I gotta talk to him. I didn't realize that there's a big old rock chip right in the center of the window, so I'm gonna go ask him about that because I think he's up front. Hey, real quick question. So I just cleaned off the windshield and I was getting it prepped. There's a big rock chip right in the center.
Yes, I know.
Okay. It hasn't spread. We're just gonna do it anyways. Okay. There's.
I did a DIY and it's sealed.
Okay. All right, just making sure. Putting pressure and stuff on there, I'll be as careful as I can.
The car seat or that?
Hmm?
Do you want me to remove the car seat?
Oh, I already got it out. It's the rest of the car is all done. I'm just on the windshield.
Okay.
So we're all good.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. You're good. That's what we take care of. Probably about another 45 minutes,
Okay.
and we'll be all set.
Thank you, sir.
Uh-huh. Okay, cool. What percent on the shield? We're doing 50. But yeah, on this type of stuff, I always want to check with people. How long have you been doing this car? That's a good question. We have been doing this car for 2 hours. Who's controlling the cameras? Security company. Camera 1. It's automatic. It's my favorite type. All right, so let's grab a towel. We're gonna tuck this into the dash area. Oh, seat covers. Let's throw some seat covers on here too. One right here. I'm gonna grab this one out the back seats. This is gonna be number 2. And then I'm gonna get one more. We're gonna put it in the center. Oh yeah, you can see it a lot now. Ta-da! Now let's put a towel on the dash. Okay, that's a lot of space. I knew it had space. This might get the record. Ta-da! Beautiful. This will kind of just stay up out of the way. I like it. I wish most windshields, look at it. Look at that. Honda. Look at how much space. So this all equals lots of room. That makes tinters very happy. Good job. Good job, Honda. You win. Windshield space of the year. If all windshields were like that, windshields would be very easy. Bonus points if they made the mirror more accessible and easy to take off. Why is your windshield gay? Can I get a little robot to just like drag my tools around? You know, like one of those restaurant ones? That would be nice. Beautiful. This guy. Cool view, thank you. Okay, other side. I got a little sticker, car wash sticker to take off. We're gonna try and make it survive. The fast pass. And an oil change one. Oil change should just fall off. Yeah. Aha! Look at that. See where they put all these cuts in here so it just breaks off? Not today. Yeah, I like follow me cameras. You offer oil changes as well as tints? No. I think most of the cars that we tint aren't due for an oil change yet. Pretty dealer new a lot of times. This one might be up for one though. What's it at? 7433. It's on 6/8. Oh no, it's due on 6/8. It's my birthday. All right, let's install it. Except we haven't even done anything on the outside yet. So let's get some film. Let's do it. What do we need? 50. When do we need it? Now. Let's put the 5 back. So I don't forget. Or should we just do 5? You think he'd notice? I'm probably gonna have to order some more. So many people get 50. Okay. Outside's all prepped. We have a dryer sheet. Stay. Gonna unroll some film. Lay it across the back window. Windshield, not back window. We're gonna set it here. And now we're gonna square it up. So what I mean by squared up, we're gonna make sure that the top corners are roughly in the same position. I might have to drag it that way though. We'll see. You guys can probably see better than, oh yeah. Don't make this mistake. That edge flipped up. It's hard to see if you're completely covered on that corner. I've done that. I would cut out film for a windshield and then I'd go to the other side and it would be short, like a 1/4 of an inch on the lower corner, but you just couldn't see. Oh, shit. Hang on. Like, actually, go fuck yourself. Oh, I hope I didn't make that mistake. I just talked about it, that's why. Ooh, I think we got it. It's just, don't do that. It's sticking. All right. We're covered. Let's try it. That's the worst, I swear, because I can't see that corner. Oh, that's so close. That's a 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch overlap, we good. Don't make that mistake. Always give yourself a little bit more slack. You'd rather have that pattern be 3 inches too wide and then 1/8 of an inch too short. There's no hiding that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna check some stuff. Then I'm probably gonna restart the stream.